Thank you for joining on this talk. My name is Juyeon Kim, and I'm the acupuncturist and owner of Tel Aviv Acupuncture and Traditional Chinese Medicine. In today's talk, I want to talk about our body and our hormones and how fertility and reproductive system works in Chinese medicine. This talk is not just about the egg counts or hormone levels. It's about looking into the whole system really holistically to understand what happens in the Chinese medicine way, so that you can have a deeper understanding of what actually happens in the entire body that has to do with our reproduction. In traditional Chinese medicine, fertility depends on a few key important organ functions. And these organ functions, when it's working well, then you have a balance and you have vitality. These organs are kidneys and liver, heart, and spleen. So when we talk about these organs in Chinese medicine, it's not just about the organs and the functions of themselves as in the Western sense, but there is more to it. So there is the organs and functions of themselves, and then also the energetics of these organs. For example, we have the kidney essence, so it's the kidney function and what kidney has as an energy. So kidney is a vital organ that carries the essential energy of our body that has to do with egg qualities, growth, and how much energy we have to be able to carry on. And this also has to do with how we carry the baby. So this is the kidney essence. It's one of the very, very important things that's part of our fertility function through the lens of the Chinese medicine. There are a few diagnostic tools in Chinese medicine. In each visit to the clinic, I look at the patient's tongue. I take the pulses, and in the case of the fertility, I ask questions about the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is a big hint and big tool to understanding where you have imbalances, and we look at a few different things in the menstrual cycles. For example, I ask you about the time. Is it early? Is it late? And how long was your cycle from the first day of your last cycle to the first day of this cycle? Tells me whether you have stagnation in the blood, whether you have deficiency in the blood. I ask about the color of the blood itself, if it's dark, if it's purple, if it's very light in color and thin. And I talk about the flow, if you have clumps in the blood, if it feels mucousy, or if it's very scanty, you barely have it coming. And also the symptoms related to the cycle, whether you have tenderness in your breast, or if your mood is fluctuating, if you're feeling angry, frustrated easily. And if you have pain, if you have cramps, terrible cramps is also a big sign of things going wrong in your system. It's not just inconvenient, but it's really a sign that there's an underlying problem there. For example, when you have terrible cramps and pain, that shows that you have blood stagnation, which is related to the liver energy. If you have migraines, for example, is one of the symptoms, it's also related to the liver. So these are the things that we can look into when we're talking about fertility, and we can understand deeply what's really going on with your body to pinpoint and find out what's the problem and fix it. A person with a very healthy liver gene, stronger liver gene, is usually more fertile and has better egg quality, sperm quality, and has much better hormonal balance. So this is the role of kidney gene in Chinese medicine in terms of fertility. Now, talking about liver. Liver is an organ and the meridian that has to do with the flow of energy that affects our fertility. For example, liver qi, liver energy is affected when there's anger, frustration, or when there's stored long-term trauma. And as a result, you can have irregular periods, or you can have PMS, you can have delayed ovulation or no ovulation. These are the things that are related to the liver qi, and this affects greatly our fertility. Now, the spleen is related to holding things together and regulating blood in our system. What does that mean? So when the spleen qi is weak, then you have spotting between your periods. There are cases when you're feeling so weak and tired and you're almost depressed, and you feel like you really don't have so much energy to do things, and you feel like really weak, and your energy is kind of sinking down. This is a classic case of spleen qi deficiency, and usually in that case you have difficulty getting pregnant because your period is not regulated, and therefore your hormone is also not balanced, and you can also have miscarriages easily in this kind of case. So the spleen is also a big function in Chinese medicine when we look at the fertility. The heart is another factor in the Chinese medicine. There's a connection between the heart and our uterus directly, and therefore when our mind is not calm, and when we are disturbed, and when we are upset about things, and when there are things going on in our outside lives that affect our lives, then this can also affect getting pregnant and keeping the pregnancy. Implantation is very dependent on having a good, calm heart and the energy of the heart. And it helps if your heart is happy, your psyche is happy, then the implantation can happen much better, and your pregnancy will be more stable. Here are a few patterns in Chinese medicine that's related to fertility. There's kidney yin deficiency. The signs of kidney yin deficiency is that you're tired, and your skin is very dry, your hair is falling out, your hair is also very dry as well, and you feel hot at nighttime, and you have sometimes night sweats. And these are the things that can happen also with advanced age, after menopause. As we get closer to menopause, this is one of the things that can happen. And there's kidney yang deficiency. Kidney yang deficiency, the symptoms and the signs are that you have very low libido, you have very cold hands and feet, you have also all of these things, you have difficulty getting pregnant. And this happens after a long period of dieting, poor nutrition, overwork, and stress. Kidney yang deficiency can happen. And then the next thing would be the spleen qi deficiency. With spleen qi deficiency, the signs are that you have very loose stool. You go to the toilet and your poop is not firm, it's like weak, and you're fatigued all the time, and you have spotting between your periods, and this can affect implantation and fertility, of course. And there's also the heart connection. If you're in a low mood, you have no joy in life, and this is something that's also a pattern in Chinese medicine that affects fertility. There is a liver qi stagnation, liver energy, and the signs are that you get angry easily, your period is irregular, sometimes it comes fast, sometimes it comes late, and sometimes you have blotchy clumps in the blood itself. Like it sometimes looks mucus, sometimes it looks very dry, and you find it on your underwear. This is a liver qi stagnation sign, and also the mood that's related to it is that you're very agitated, and you can have breast tenderness. So these are some of the things that actually are related to the infertility and fertility in Chinese medicine. And there are ways that we can work on these things through acupuncture, herbs, and things like meditation and our lifestyle. Food is a huge factor. Sleep is a big factor. So when we think about Chinese medicine, when we think about fertility, it's very, very important that we look at our whole body. It's not just one thing or the other. It's not just balancing the hormones and taking pills to balance, to increase your estrogen or increase your progesterone. It's really to change this and little things in our lifestyle to influence the whole thing. So if you sleep better, your hormones actually regulate much better, because your growth hormones release between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. This is the Western medicine explanation, but in Chinese medicine, interestingly, this is when our liver is resting. So these are the hours that are very crucial for us to be sleeping during those hours, so that your liver and the gallbladder are regulating themselves, so that your, for example, period, you will notice when you sleep earlier, then your period is actually much more regulated. Your period timing is much more regular, and the bleeding itself is with less cramp and smooth instead of having clumps or having dryness. And also with the kidney energy is kidney jing, our life essence, has a lot to do with how we manage our life, how well we spend our energy in a way that's very regulated, not to overspend our energy. So that means not to exercise like 2 hours constantly to lose weight, not to overstress on things. If we're tired, just to take time out and to rest and to eat nutritious foods that are good for us. That's also related to the spleen energy. The spleen energy has to do with our digestive system and our thoughts. When you're worried, overthinking and worrying, this also affects the spleen energy. And the way to regulate it is to have regularity in our day, which means you'll be eating almost at the same time, and your body understands when the food is coming in, so then it can relax. This also affects becoming pregnant. So with this kind of changes in lifestyle, and also coming to acupuncture, and if you really need taking the correct herbs, will all together help you get pregnant better.